I'd now like to introduce you to Miss Richa Batla, the very beautiful. She's the Key Account Manager, Cambridge University Press India Private Limited, an educationist with more than 12 years of experience. For initial 9 years of her career, she had been teaching students of all age groups with her strong determination to bring transformation in education industry through creativity, innovative thinking, communication, and collaboration skills. She switched to corporate world, catering to the requirements of schools and universities. Her corporate assignments included international exchange programs for students to France, Romania, and China based on Sustainable Development Goals 2030 of United Nations. Seeing the fast inclination of students towards technology, she promoted AI, machine learning, Internet of Things in the school segment by joining a Bangalore-based company indulged in giving robotics education to K-12 segment. She also ran her own venture named Ed Infinity, providing STEM education to students from kindergarten to secondary school, wherein the huge impetus was given to experimental learning. Richa, it is such an honor having you here on the panel today. Welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
On behalf of Data Trained, I would like to welcome everybody one more time, and I would like our audience to know that we are streaming live and exclusive on Data Trained's YouTube platform. So keep posting your comments and questions when you decide to take a step forward. Let's move on to Richa on this note. Richa, your opening comments.
Thank you so much, Dharna, and thank you, Data Train, for calling us. This is a great platform that we have received to interact with millions of people today. Hello, everybody. I am Richa Batla, and I would be sharing about what I feel about this beautiful topic that Data Train has picked up for today. So when we talk about challenge, it says that don't limit your challenge and challenge your limits. Once I also tell you that this is more like a tongue twister for me, because when I was thinking about the topic, so I was just confusing with the limit and challenge multiple times, but actually it's a very, very deep topic. So when we say that don't limit your challenges, first of all, how do we consider what is a challenge? For anybody, a term called challenge, what do we understand by it? So if I talk about my life, for me, challenge were my best friends, or I would say challenge are the friends in disguise. That means initially, you don't think that they're your friend. But once you walk the path to attain your very objective, when you overcome, when you meet, when you just give a hug to those challenges who teach you many lessons of life, then you recall, okay, if these challenges wouldn't have happened in my life, I would not have achieved what I have achieved today. So that is how I take that challenges are our best friends. Or today I can say that anybody who in the audience is facing a challenge, and challenge could be anything. It is not necessary that challenge has to be something related to coronavirus, which has come up and changed the life of many people. Challenge could be your basic thing of getting up early in the morning. Challenge could be the taking extra care of the people around you. Challenge could be to do the best in the work environment. And why do we have challenge? Can anything be a challenge for anybody? I feel no, it varies. A challenge for me is not necessarily a challenge for you. I never want to fly a plane. So if I say I cannot fly a plane, that's a big challenge for me. No, challenge has to be related to your very purpose, to your very objective. And every individual has their certain personal and professional objective. When we first of all decide our objective and we start working on the path, the problems that we meet, the difficulties that we see is the challenge, who is also called as a friend in disguise. So that is why it says that if you limit your challenges, you are limiting the best people coming in your life. Who would like to limit the best people coming in my life? I met Dharna today. She's the best person. Hadn't I taken this opportunity to speak, I couldn't have met her. So I would say when you limit your challenges, you limit the best people and the best opportunities. So never limit them because everybody wants to see the higher self. On the other hand, when we say that challenge your limit, of course, yes, because there is no end to anything. Life is limitless. Once you challenge your limit, okay, I want to cut down my laziness today. I want to be extra polite with the people today. I want to control my anger today. This is how you are challenge your limit and you are working on yourself. So that's how I would like to conclude in the opening session. Thank you.
Wow, that is so beautifully put together with a lot of thought into it. Thank you so much, Richa. And moving on to Mr. Aditya Sinha. Aditya, your opening comments on this.
Thank you very much, Dharna, and thank you all of you, our fellow panelists. It's so nice to hear all the positive vibes coming out from all of you, each one of you.
With your challenges, when you shake hands with your challenges, they become a cakewalk and nothing more than that. So with this, let me move last but not the least to Richa Batla. Richa, your challenges you'd like to touch upon.
Okay, thank you so much again for again a great question. So when I talk about my professional life, it was always filled with challenge. There was never any platform that I would say had no challenge in my life. If I talk about, because there are students also who are seeing and watching this program, I would like to relate with them also. So, dear children, when I was in school, when I was a child, I was in my seventh, eighth, ninth standard. For me, challenge was to be at least better or at least the same like what my peers were, how my peers were. I was very average and I was not a good communicator. I was feeling very shabby about myself. And I used to always see that there are so many people who are so better than me. Why not I can be with them? How can I be their friends? How can teacher pay attention to me the way they pay to the good students and the bright students in the classroom? So that was a challenge for me. And I tried to fight by practicing, by working on my problem areas. And when I was practicing, the other challenge mounted up was that whenever I was speaking entirely wrong. My English was pathetic. Teachers were not asking me to speak in the class or read in the class because I could not read it properly. I could not participate in any interest house or school competitions, but I always wanted to. So I decided, be it right, be it wrong, I have to practice and I have to improve. So that is again a challenge when people are observing you, when people are working and picking out points where you lack, you are surviving, facing them boldly and working on yourself. And that is how I was able to overcome during my school time. And then God shifted me to another city from my hometown to another place where my complete family shifted. Now, that was much smaller town than where I came from. In that small town, because I had some kind of upbringing in my schooling and I was in class 12, when I was interacting with students, we usually generally used to talk in English because we developed those skills. Now it was so small town that people were secluding me because I was not according to them. I was not speaking in their native language. I was not being very, very conservative in their thoughts and keep backbiting people. Generally, it happens in your circles. Because I was different, I was secluded. Then I decided that, okay, I have to possibly, in a positive manner, I have to be a part of their group. I have to tell them what is right, and I have to also get away from the they're trying to be with the circle, but they're trying to be different. We never want to lose on our unique points. Then coming from a very small university, it was a very small university from where I have passed out, not much recognition in the country. Getting a job, getting a job, especially when you are a graduate and you feel like you want to start working and you want to help your family. Now, when you are working as a 21-year-old girl, there are seniors who are 30 years old, 50 years old, and you are teaching with them. There is a challenge to be better. There's a challenge that people should not poke you that, Richa, you're doing wrong somewhere. You have to be perfect in your work. You have to satisfy your leaders. So that is also a challenge. But then it helped me grow. Then the third thing came up when I wanted to leave my hometown because I was feeling that I have attained enough from my hometown, which is a small village. I now want to go to a metro city like Delhi and Noida. I want to prove myself over there. Then again, working in schools like DPS was not a cakewalk. It was again a challenge. I had to prove my potential to be with them, to be on the same page as their teachers. And I remember the time that couple of times I was rejected for a higher position I ever wanted. If I tell you that when I was in Delhi, before going to DPS, I went to Amity University for my interview and I was not selected. And they told me, Richa, you need to be trained. I went to Manav Rachna University for my interview. And the leaders were so polite. They smiled that I had a curiosity to learn. But then they told me, Richa, you have to come back after a lot of preparation. I went back to school and again I developed my skills. And then the university one day called me to join them. So again, this is one thing. Then again, later, what happened that I went to international collaborations, which I never did in life. But I told my bosses that I want to take risks. I want to work for United Nations. So every little story that Dharna mentioned about my complete portfolio was filled with challenge. Being a commerce student, being a management student, I was selling technology for a robotics based organization. It was never my cup of tea. But then I took a challenge because what is the need of the market? I have to train my skills accordingly. Then, when I was so much in love with the work I was doing, my company declared a layoff. My company, on one night stand, when we were having a very good package, very good salary, declared a layoff. I still remember the date. It was 2018, September 6th. And on the night, it wrote us a mail that, my dear colleagues, I'm very sorry, around 50 to 60 people were jobless for a very handsome salary. Now, that was a point of a great depression for anybody because you have so many expenses lined up. But then I decided that no, this has happened to teach me. Because in my chapter from 20 years old to 30 years old, I had learned that any challenge which has come up, it has always come up to teach me. Maybe this is again a lesson for me. And within 7, 8 days, I decided to start my own business. I started my Ed Infinity as an organization because we were loving the work that we were doing and we started doing it in schools. So that is what I'm telling you, a challenge. Then when I started into my venture, I also realized that what I really love doing. So until and unless you do, you can't feel what your inner soul want. It is very important to do it. Do it for 6 months, do it for 2 months, do it for a year, do it for 10 years, at least do it. When you do it, you realize that you have a greater purpose, you have a greater goal. And that is the blessing by Almighty that now I'm working with a beautiful organization, Cambridge University Press India. Now, the last line which I want to tell you in the complete journey is that take an example of any animal, take an example of any racer, take an example of cheetah. What does cheetah do? When cheetah wants to attack, when cheetah wants to run, he takes 3 steps back and then go fly, then go run. Why? This 3 steps back help him to improve his pace and speed and then go with a great speed and attack and attain whatever he wants. So in life, whenever you feel that you are going down, don't worry. Maybe this back gear is helping you to push forward much higher, much greater, and in much bigger speed. That is what I understand about my challenges in life.
Wow, Richa, that's so inspiring. So, from a bad communicator to a fearless and a flawless girl we have today here in front of us. And it is incredible. It's a real time example for anybody who's watching us. So, it is said that nothing great was ever achieved with comfort zones. So let's take this time, Batla. Richa, what are your tips to keep oneself motivated in tough times like these?
Okay. I hope I'm audible. Yes, perfect.
Yes.
So again, like I started the session with what I feel and what I do, I would love to share. If any of those things could help you out, I would be very happy to share them. So when this corona started in the month of March, and for the person who is very outgoing, who likes meeting people, who loves dressing up well for office, who likes having discussion, travel, for anybody like that, when this happens, so what will happen to you? You will be completely in isolation mode and you don't know what to do. So gradually you start discovering that what should I do to stay positive? One day I can watch Bill Gates. Okay, I will be like him one day. I'll be positive. Okay, for what happened after that speech? Then again, maybe you will watch the session today. You are very motivated, and after six hours, it's all gone. And then you're again back to square one. That how to feel motivated. So first of all, we need to ask question to ourselves: do we really want to be? I want to feel motivated. It is sometimes, a lot of gyan comes from our mentors around. A lot of gyan comes from our families. A lot of gyan comes from our colleagues. खुश रहो, positive रहो, motivated रहो. पर जब मेरा मन ही नहीं है, I don't want to be positive, what can you do? So first of all, that inner self, talk to yourself is very important, what actually you want in life. Abhi, just before that, our leader was speaking, so he was sharing about Sachin's story. Now, in Sachin's case, he was very clear from his childhood that he wanted to be a cricketer. His journey started very early in life. But maximum people like us, we struggle knowing the purpose. I don't know. I was not knowing what is my purpose 5 years back. I discovered lately, and I'm sorry to share that. So, we are very confused element. Most of us, we don't know because we get a lot of information from everywhere. Everybody who sees us give us some gyan. Some say you could be a good doctor. Some could say you could be a good lawyer. Why don't you join a mass communication course? Everybody is giving us information. We don't have a time to talk to ourselves. We pick up thinking that they would be thinking best for us and let me go for that course. Once we continue and do that course, later we realize this is not my type. I'm not enjoying my work. Why this is happening? Because I never get time to talk to myself. So, dear people, it is a very beautiful time for us. Talk to yourself, give nutrition to your thoughts, give nutrition to your body, engage yourself in the activities that were once your hobby when you were a kid. It could be your painting, it could be your dancing, it could be talking on phone with your friends, it could be just doing meditation, it could be yoga. So, everything is interlinked. Your professional job is nowhere outside you. You are that same individual who meets the family at home, who meets the friend outside, and who go for work. There are not three Richas around. Though people have different masks to wear everywhere, and that's how their conduct varies from person to person, but the soul remains the same. So when your soul is highly motivated by doing the things that you love, by giving time to your body, when there's a healthy body, soul will feel healthy. When there's a healthy office, you feel good. When there's a clean home, you feel good. So when there's a clean home for the soul, you will feel good. And once you feel good, that creates the ambience for you to do constructive things. Maybe most of you want to start a new job, but you are so suffocated right now that you're not able to think out of it because there's so many things messed up. There could be personal issues, there could be professional issues, this could be relation issues related to your friends. Clean it one by one. Do the things that you love. Not professional is not 24/7. Your 8 to 10 hours are your professional. If you clean yourself for 4 to 5 hours or maybe 1 hour to start with, you will have a holistic thing to do it to keep yourself very motivated. For the last thing which I would like to cover up, what I am doing, I never painted in my life. I was a very bad painter. I started painting. I spend time in reading books. I do meditation for 1 hour. I go for my workout maybe 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week or 4 days a week. Important to engage yourself. So start engaging yourself in other than work activity also, because this will give you a good kick to do better at your workplace. Yes.
Wow. Yes. Yes, Dr. Mudgal.
Hi, sorry, interrupting. Such a beautiful.
Thank you, Aditya. And moving on to Richa. Richa, your take on goal setting and tips.
So mostly everybody, best of the speakers have spoken their thought. I'm just adding on to that. First of all, the purpose of life, when you know what you want, which is a difficult journey, I'm telling you, बहुत टाइम लगेगा कि मुझे जिंदगी में चाहिए क्या, भगवान ने मुझे इंसान बना के क्यों भेजा है, कुछ तो होगा ना हमारे में डिफरेंट. तो उसको आइडेंटिफाई करना अपने आप में एक बहुत बड़ा टास्क है. धीरे धीरे ही पता चलता है. दैट्स ओके. अपना टाइम लीजिए, अपने आप को अपने साथ काइंड रहिए, जेनरस रहिए, तभी आप दूसरों के साथ जेनरस हो पाएंगे. अपने आप को अप्रिशिएट करें, अपनी खूबसूरती को, अपनी इंटेलिजेंस को, अपनी समझ को, अपनी एम्पैथी को हमेशा अप्रिशिएट करें. जब आप अपने आप को अप्रिशिएट करेंगे, आप सामने वालों को भी अप्रिशिएट करेंगे. इन सब चीजों का आपके बिगर पर्पस से कनेक्शन है. जब आपको अपना बिगर पर्पस, इन छोटी छोटी क्वालिटीज को आप डेवलप करते हो, आप अपने बिगर पर्पस के करीब आते हो. अब बिगर पर्पस को अगर आप दूर से देखोगे तो आपको लगेगा हाय ये इतना बड़ी चीज है, मैं कल कर लूंगा, मैं कल कर लूंगा, मैं कल कर लूंगा. हम प्रोक्रेस्टिनेट करते हैं. क्यों? क्योंकि वो बहुत बड़ा टास्क है. कोई भी बड़ा प्रोजेक्ट किसी को भी मिल जाए, अरे सर करेंगे, आज तो वीकेंड है, मंडे निकल गया, थर्सडे निकल गया, अगला हफ्ता निकल गया, क्योंकि बड़ा है. तो सबसे इजी ट्रिक क्या है? बड़े को छोटे में डिवाइड करो. छोटे में डिवाइड करो, मंथली डिवाइड करो, वीकली डिवाइड करो. और क्योंकि इतना ब्यूटीफुल क्वेश्चन लेआउट किया था, तो मैं अपनी सीधा डायरी ही खोली थी, just to show that what I do, though it is not visible, but I'm just telling you, this is my goal setting. And this is every month goal setting. And how do I set my goals? I divide them into 4-5 categories, like my spiritual goals, what I have to do spiritually. My world peace goal, कि मुझे सोसाइटी के लिए क्या करना है, चाहे वो किसी को हेल्प करना है, किसी को उस टाइम एनकरेज करना है वो जब वाकई में नीड में था, या किसी को 100-200 रुपए देखिए एक दान देना है जो उस टाइम उसको जरूरत थी, वो कुछ भी हो सकता है. Then second is your professional goals, कि मैं अपने इस मंथ में क्या क्या प्रोफेशनल गोल्स को अचीव करना चाहती हूँ, ABC 7 असाइनमेंट्स जो भी मेरा काम है. Then my personal goals, मुझे अपने अंदर क्या क्या चीजें लेकर आनी है So every basic thing will come under this. Family and friends goals. Family के लिए क्या करना है, friends के लिए क्या करना है, and my HR goals, which means human revolution goals. अगर मुझे गुस्सा ज्यादा आता है तो गुस्से में काबू करना है. अगर मेरी ध्वनि, मेरी टोन रूड है तो इस महीने सिर्फ अपनी पोलाइटनेस पे काम करना है. तो जब हम अपने बिगर गोल को स्प्लिट करते हैं छोटे छोटे गोल्स पे और महीने के एंड पे जब टिक मार्क लगाते हैं, तो अगर 10 में से 4 चीजें भी होती है ना, तो इतना बड़ा मोटिवेशन मिलता है कि आप अगली बार और लिखते हो. तो ये leaders have just said, the speakers have said was beautiful, and that's true. Adding one more point to it is, it is not necessary to every time accept that you are rejected, because most of the time rejection, when you are told that you are rejected, is also the brain of the other person. Might be it is not always required to take those negative feedback that okay, I am so and so. Now this again, when you work on these rejections in your personal room, in your personal level, you will able to cater or handle them in your professional level also. Like your friend might reject you, she is not I type, she is not my type, she will not be in our circle. Your people, your family might reject you, that you are not that thought person with good ideas, so we won't like to include you in important discussions. So, sometimes whatever rejections that we face in life, these get embedded in our subconscious mind, which gives us a lot of, take us back, and we don't have a courage to initiate the next time. So what is the solution in all these rejection? The solution again goes back to the same thing. Whenever you are rejected, analyze the situation, see how authentic and relative it is for you, and accordingly work. Some rejections are worth ignoring because that is only the mind of the other person, and the perspective of the person might not be the truth. And some are real, sincere rejections which help us grow. So we must evaluate our rejections also. Yeah.
Yes, and Vikram would like to add something. Moving on to Richa. Richa, your closing comments for 20 seconds.
All right. So, कल करे सो आज करे सो अब, पल में परलय होएगी, फिर करेगा कब. So, dear audience, जो भी मन में आपके आकांक्षाएं हैं, any dream that you have, just start it right now. First thing, pen down. Second thing, break it up. And then persistence, continuous. Be continuous in your effort. Be persistent in your effort, and you will accomplish. Don't wait for others' motivation. Every day motivate yourself. When you don't have to see, go to the mirror or click a selfie and motivate yourself. So thank you so very much for the amazing platform by Data Train. Dharna, you handled it so beautifully. All the speakers, I learned a lot from you today. It was lovely interacting with you, and such a receptive audience. Pleasure having you all today. I'm so blessed. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Richa. Last but not the least, Dr.